patreon.com/doseofbuckley. There are certain sentences or phrases that, as someone who comments on pop culture and society, you're sure that you'll never say. Greta Thunberg was hired as president of BP. Kyle Rittenhouse became the new spokesperson for Bud Light. Amy Schumer has launched an OnlyFans page. Sorry, that last one's from the list of things I've had to say in my nightmares. But here's a sentence that, 4 years ago, I would have bet my life savings I'd never say. Ben Shapiro is now a charting rapper. On January 26th, Baby Benny teamed up with Canadian rapper Tom Macdonald, that'll be funnier in a few minutes, to release Facts. If you've ever wondered what an Alvin and the Chipmunks rap song would sound like, you're about to find out.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap.
Oh boy, where to begin? The Lizzo line is kind of funny, but a 40-year-old Ben Shapiro saying homie and dog is pretty lame, Millhouse. And he's referencing WAP because, of course, he read the lyrics to the Cardi B song on his show a few years ago and got made fun of heavily for basically saying that his wife doesn't get wet. He should be doing his best to distance himself from that, not bring it up again. And he says he's got the facts, but then he says that he wears a yarmulke, no cap. Here's a fact. A yarmulke is, indeed, a cap. I know, it's supposed to be clever. Again, a 40-year-old conservative using Gen Z slang. But it has all the lame kitsch of Pat Boone singing Crazy Train, without Pat Boone's self-effacing charm. The rest of his verse is about how rappers spend all their money on strippers and cars and are going to prison, while he makes money by having a sensible investment portfolio. I think he rhymes Karens with parents, and he ends with a call to action to download this song. Because people still download songs, to get a Billboard #1. Could that happen? Never say never. The song reached #1 on the iTunes charts, with Ben Shapiro gleefully tweeting, "Happy Monday, fellow hip-hop legends. You girls play nice now," in reference to his song beating out Megan Thee Stallion's Hiss and Nicki Minaj's Bigfoot. Both songs are diss tracks toward the other. So, Ben Shapiro gets to say that, at least for a time, he rapped on a song that outsold Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. However, on the actual Apple Music charts, the streaming service, the song isn't even in the top 200, while Miss Minaj and Miss Stallion are at the top. So a bunch of the Mayor of Munchkinland's audience are buying it for the lulz, but they're not listening to it over and over. And while we know iTunes sales are worth more to Billboard than streams, streams are a major part of any song's success on Billboard. On Spotify, as of writing this, Facts has racked up a little over 1 million plays, while Hiss has 8.6 million. Another fact for you, 8.6 million is a greater number than 1 million. But, to be fair, YouTube's a different story. Facts has 9.5 million views to Hiss's 8 million. So, if we look at the stats, it's unlikely that Lil Ben is going to get his Billboard #1, but it could be a top 10 hit. And an iTunes #1 still gives him something to brag about, which, as he knows, is what the rap game is all about. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not doing this as a musical autopsy. Well, that's because I'm being sensitive to Ben. About a decade ago, he tweeted, "Fact, rap isn't music, and if you think it is, you're stupid." So listen, if he says his song doesn't identify as music, who am I to say otherwise, right? His partner in rhyme, Tom Macdonald, goes one step further though to claim this actually isn't rap.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes.
Fuck is this shit, Mr. T's Commandments? Gonna bust out a verse about how you should do your homework every night before bed? Maybe get Jordan Peterson on a remix to talk about cleaning your room? If you did, in order to remain factually correct, you'd have to remove the line about "we ain't gonna overdose," because Jordy's a big fan of the Bennies, and I ain't talking about Shapiro. Also, I can't help but point out the fact that Ben Shapiro's verse has him bragging about how much money he makes, while Tom then claims that this song isn't about money. And it's also bizarre that he says, "We ain't pushing guns." Is this song anti-Second Amendment? Well, that's not very conservative. The rest of the song is all a bunch of statements to fire up the terminally online. There's only 2 genders, go woke, go broke, pronouns, all the American flags have been replaced with BLM and rainbows. All platitudes to desperately gain the admiration of people who, let's face it, probably would cross to the other side of the street if they saw Tom walking by. Besides being a Canadian, probably why he's not seeing very many American flags around. You believe how woke our Walmarts are? Here, they fly big Canadian flags instead of American ones. But anyway, he's a rapper with face tattoos. He looks like Canadian Tire store brand Post Malone. While we saw controversial country make an impact on the charts last year, Tom's Rapublican, has been less successful so far. His highest charting song has been his 2021 track, Snowflakes. Guess what that one's about? It hit number 71 on Billboard. Because with a country song, conservatives will listen to it over and over. But with a rap song, they'll tolerate it once for the laugh, but then they'll say, but it's still that fucking rap music. You can't spell crap without rap. You know what it stands for, right? I'd tell you, but then someone would fucking cancel me because you can't say the R word no more, thanks to them Democrats. I think the funniest part of the song, though, is Tom saying, I ask myself, what would Ben do? A play, of course, on what would Jesus do? Tom Macdonald considering Ben to be his Messiah. I do say that Jesus was Jewish, but for a guy who considers himself a free thinker, he just said he does whatever Ben does. Guys, you can't go around calling other people sheep when you're part of a different flock, just repeating the bleating of your other woolly friends in the pen. And that goes for everyone who bought this just because the song told you to, or because you thought it would be funny to own the libs. You're not owning anyone. No one cares if Ben Shapiro and Tom Macdonald have the #1 song. In fact, do you even want that? Just to be clear, you want Ben Shapiro to be equal to Cardi B, Lil Nas X, 6ix9ine, Drake. You want their names to be spoken in the same sentence as his? And why does he want this? You have to ask yourself, why, when he looks down on these people so much, is he so obsessed with being on level pegging with them? Pegging. And what's really telling is, despite the fact that it's not about money, they wanted you to pay money for it. They didn't ask you to stream it, which makes less per listen, because they knew you'd only listen to it once anyway. They wanted you to pay for it. You just fell for a ploy to raise a bunch of extra money for a shitty Canadian gimmick rapper. Here's a fact that doesn't care about your feelings. Your feelings were manipulated into purchasing this song. You're no better than the faithful believers who listened to Justin when he asked them to stream his music while they slept so that he could top the charts. Ben tops the charts while you bottom for him. Kinda undignified if you ask me, but hey, maybe I'm just jealous because Lil Quickscope will never get to say he had a #1. So Ben, what's next? I mean, you now claim to be the world's #1 rapper, so we gotta get a follow-up. Let's start working on that EP. Perhaps we can get Straight Outta Harvard, or Befriend the Police. Maybe Lose Yourself in a Men's Large Jacket, or 99 Problems but bumping my head on a door frame ain't one. In fact, I even got your new rap name all picked out. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the notorious 5'3".